Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun, Show's World.
Welcome to Show's World Gamers, Josh here, and today I want to talk about my top 5 must-play indie games on the Nintendo Switch. Now the Switch is stacked with big-budget 5-star titles like Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, Luigi's Mansion 3, Splatoon 3, and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. But what has really been the biggest surprise of this console generation is the absolute explosion of the indie scene. Indie developers have really pushed the envelope of creativity, storytelling, and art, creating some really fun, original, and imaginative gaming experiences. So let's check out my picks for the 5 must-play indie games on the Nintendo Switch. Alright, we're going to start with my number 5 game, and that is Sports Story. Now, Sports Story was just released exclusively on the Nintendo Switch. The game is a sports-based RPG and the sequel to Golf Story, another fantastic indie game. It expands on the original game, adding a multitude of sports like BMX, fishing, and volleyball you unlock while playing through the game and exploring the world in this really cool original RPG. At number 4 is It Takes Two. Now, It Takes Two is one of the best cooperative action adventure games, period. The Game Awards actually gave this indie gem the prestigious Game of the Year award back in 2021. The story starts with a couple contemplating divorce when their young daughter turns them into dolls and they have to work together through the game. There are some strong, thought-provoking situations wrapped into a really well-made game that is co-op only. There is no single player, but if you have somebody you're looking to play a co-op game with, this game is fantastic. Coming in at number 3 on my list is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. Now, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge has personally taken the crown for me as my favorite Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game of all time. And I was a huge Turtles fan growing up, and I still like the Ninja Turtles. It took the crown from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4, Turtles in Time. The game plays like a classic arcade-style beat-em-up game. You can play couch co-op, or you can actually play online with up to 6 players. There is a ton of Easter eggs, and while the game is pretty short, the multiplayer makes this a game that you're going to come back to time and time again. At number 2 is Hades. Now this is another one of those games that broke through and gave those big AAA games a run for their money back in 2018. A lot of publications actually chose it as their game of the year. The game is an action dungeon-style crawler with impressive, vibrant graphics and ultra-fast gameplay. Hades is the game that started the roguelike explosion, as each time you die, you restart, but with some of your items, and each time your character is a little bit stronger, allowing you to get further and further as you try and escape the underworld of Greek mythology. Alright, my number 1 indie must-play game for the Nintendo Switch is Cuphead. Now, Cuphead is an absolute must-play with a very stern caveat. This game is brutally difficult. Don't let the super cool stylized cartoon graphics fool you. It is a hard game. That being said, it's also a lot of fun. The side-scrolling action shooter is fast and those cartoon graphics run so smooth. The character designs are so impressive and I highly recommend giving this game a shot. Alright gamers, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Indie developers are making some really cool games. There are so many fun indie games out there that offer new experiences, from free-to-play games like Fall Guys to those smaller, more imaginative games with tiny development teams, sometimes as small as just one person, like Cuphead, or those bigger indie titles like Hollow Knight. There is a lot of high-quality indie games, usually at a fraction of the price of some of those big AAA blockbuster games. If this is your first time on the channel, hit that subscribe button. Let me know your favorite indie games in the comments. Hit that like button, and thanks for joining us today, gamers. Show's World, out.